The Leisure World Radio Club has been in existence for over 40 years, speaking with frequency to people near and far, for fun and for good reason. In 1976, two residents began the club, with initial meetings held in this Chinook RV. Through the years, the club became equipped with a welcoming nature.
Are there any early check-ins? Come now.
That transcends time.
I moved here in 2010, the end of 2010, and one of the reasons I moved here, I got a little tour of it and I saw the tower and the antenna, and I go, wow, this is great.
And a vibrant club participates in Leisure World today.
We have about 40 members that are ham radio operators, and to be a full member to vote, you have to have a ham radio license. Now, we do allow associates to come in, and they can operate family radios where it doesn't require a license.
Actually, I'm driving on Interlock and just approaching Golden Ring.
Talk about what the staff does in the office.
You heard people talking in there, and that was our daily net. We do it 6 days a week, every day except Sunday. It's mainly for the residents of Leisure World, but then we always invite guests, and we have friends outside the area. We have a friend who lives in Sherman Oaks, and he can talk to us. We can check out the radios, make sure that they're all working, and then after that, we might talk about club business.
Depending on atmospheric conditions, the club communicates with other radio operators around the world.
Two countries totally ban ham radio. One is North Korea and the other is Yemen. Ham radio is extremely common in Japan. They love ham radio. Canada, it's pretty close. A lot of hams up there. Mexico is close, not as many hams. Sometimes you can contact Europe, other times not real good. I forgot his name, but he was in India. Well, the only thing is in the northern hemisphere like we are, he would say, turn your beam, it's called long path, and it was just more than halfway around the world, and that would be over the South Pole. I talked to a pilot, Eskil, and he actually sent me a picture of his plane, and he flew for SAS, and one of his planes that he flew, I guess they gave him names, was called the Eskil, so it was Eskil flying the Eskil.
And proper equipment is needed to communicate locally or long distance.
Amateur bands are spread out all the way up from the top of the AM broadcast band up through microwave, and this equipment here is HF, and that allows us to talk around the world. We can also, during an emergency, we could talk, if we had to, we could talk to Sacramento, we could talk to Washington D.C., we could talk to FEMA if need be, and also we have a emergency generator power outside the room here. Also, we have battery emergency. Two batteries that are constantly being charged, and this is for our VHF, UHF, shorter range.
The various means of communication, particularly during an emergency, is the strength of this club. I see you have a Morse code transmitter here. Morse code's been around a long time. Is it still used today?
It's still very popular for the amateurs. Russian military still uses a code, Morse code, so there are plenty of countries that still use it.
When we talk about emergency response, talk about the goal and what the purpose is of the emergency response team with regards to the radio club.
They want us to be able to provide communication during an emergency, because in emergency the cell phones might not work, landlines might not work, but even if they work, they might just be totally overloaded.
We basically make them the backbone of our disaster plan. Without the radio club, we would be pretty much useless. So there's a chain of command, for lack of words. So it flows from the field to the radio room, from the radio room to the police department, and from the police department on to the county of Orange.
So the radio club would be the nerve center for damage assessment.
We're particularly interested in four things, and that's like injured or trapped residents, severe infrastructure damage, down utility lines, and fires.
In the 1970s, the Seal Beach Police Department donated this van to Leisure World. It still plays an important role today.
And Leisure World asked the radio club at the time if we could use it, so we jumped at it. and turned it into a remote mobile unit.
Today, the van has about 10,000 original miles and monthly maintenance.
Basically, what we've done is duplicate the radio room, the equipment in the radio room.
Message, Steve, are you ready to copy?
Yep, ready to copy.
Anything that we can do up in the radio room, we can do here in the van.
During an emergency, the radio club will drive the van wherever it's needed.
As far as I'm concerned personally, the radio club, just as a hobby, is invaluable.
So I am the first novice of the club, and basically I joined it to glean from those experts that had been in the club for many, many years.
Resource materials are readily available for certification.
I basically went to the Red Cross in Long Beach and took my actual exam. It's 35 questions. It's relatively simple.
The club is also involved with family radio, and family radio is a small little radio. It puts out either half a watt or 2 watts, and no license is required. And we'd like to get a lot of people in Leisure World involved in family radio, because I would say someone can save a life using a family radio.
Well, I've been involved with emergency preparedness for my Mutual One, since 2010, and doing various things. And we did buy these radios as early as 2011. Good morning, this is Kathy A. from Mutual One checking in. Over. And that's it.
The radio club sits atop the amphitheater, and new members are always welcome.
We meet on its frequency Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m.
Welcome members, anybody interested in getting a ham radio license or just getting a family radio. However people want to get involved, we're more than willing to help them out.